G'day, legends. Welcome back to Roadside, presented by Zwift. We're back in the Hilton, and we've had stage 1 finish of the men's Tour Down Under. And we're also, as you can hear from my voice, just back from the Zwift party down at the Map Specialized setup. I tell you what, it was a bit of a free-for-all down there, I have to say. But everyone was having fun, and everyone was on that bloody Zwift ride.
Yeah, you couldn't get them off it, could you, mate? Everyone wanted to have a crack at putting out 300 watts.
Oh, yeah.
No, they were loving it, so it was good to see, and it was absolutely pumping.
Yeah, it's nothing like seeing people in plain clothes get on the Zwift and do a 1K max out effort. It was
even better
funny
when they've had a few Denzel Frothingtons and then they jump on. I like that.
What, it was very, very good. We gave away some good prizes as well. Wahoo were delivering, mate. How about these for prizes? We gave away a kicker core.
A whole kicker. The whole...
Yep, the whole thing. A brand new Wahoo Ace, so that's that brand new unit, a Wahoo Roam, and the tracker, which is the heart rate monitor. So they gave away sick prizes. We actually didn't even give away all the prizes we had.
Why was that?
Well, I don't know. We just ran
punters
out.
were too entertained with with the activities going on.
They were too entertained with the beers. So it was a really, really good day, and we had our first racing, Tom, and you spent the day in the media circle.
Yeah, if you want to
What
call
were
it the
you
media
doing?
circle, mate, it's just another day on the tools, so to speak. Nah, look, it was a good day, mate, out in the media. But a lot of people don't know how it works. So
yeah, what do you do? So when we're saying that, you're going out there to get interviews and just sort of, if you go out there with the media, explain it for the listeners.
Yeah, it's good fun. So they have a pool of cars that are assigned to photographers and journalists. The photogs, of course, they just go do their own thing. They're just like, oh no, we don't want to be with you, bloke.
They get a van.
Yeah, they do, and they all jump in one big van. They're all smiley, happy.
Big
They're
sweaty
in there,
van.
yeah. So they go out, they go on course. The journos, we tend to go to the start, obviously, as well. But then we go straight to the finish, particularly here, because there is generally circuits that you can go. You watch a bit of the race and you're working. But when you're at the start, all the riders, we are generally there just like maybe 20 minutes earlier before the riders arrive. And obviously they don't have team buses here, so they just pull up in the sort of the high ace minivan, and they're all getting ready in the vans. It's really cool, and we have really good access with the riders and all the.
So there's opportunities for interviews.
Yeah, precisely. It's like pit lane, mate. So you just walk up and down the lane, and you just chat to the media man and go, look, mate, I want to.
Have you seen James Tobin do it from Channel 7?
Oh, mate, he's busy. Him, Keno, mate. There they are, because they'll be operating, and then production will say, they'll obviously have a list, and they'll go, right, we want to speak with Luke Durbridge. They go up. And TV, they don't mess around. If they're talking to anybody else, they're just like, move aside. And TV, this is how it works. TV always has priority. Everyone kind of knows that, because they're on a schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And they bring the money in to keep the race alive. So... TV, Keno, there he is. He's asking Durbo the real questions, and then Toby, he's probably asking him what his favourite chocolate is or something like that.
He told Sam, he asked Sam if he was the time trial champion on live TV. I was like, Tobin, he's kind of like the Sunrise guy, Grant Denyer.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to him. Watching the segments he does each day over the last 3 years, he's actually gotten better. He knows his stuff now.
Look, you'd hope he'd be getting better, mate, about the world of cycling, because it is a unique world. But
who did you talk to? You were out there talking to a few riders, getting a few interviews?
Yeah. Look, your pre-race, you never really get much. You're always just kind of getting a bit of a feel. I always use it. You kind of can look at the riders and you can see what the vibe is. But interesting enough, you can always see who is a team leader, because you can walk alongside their car and you can see which bike's hanging out the side. So if you're a team leader, you get your bike right on the outside of the car rack.
So they can get it easier versus a bike in the middle of the rack.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
So if there's any doubts lingering around that, like, for example, you had a look at sort of AG2R and their setup, and Jayco, of course, with Murray Schmidt, Platt, Harper, it's stacked.
Yes.
Where are the bikes there?
Yeah.
So, but then I had a chat with Durbo, and funnily enough, I actually had a good chat with Fergus Browning before the stage started today. So it was great to hear from him, and he was... You know him pretty well. You've seen him at a lot of national races.
Yep.
He's cool, calm, collected before a race. He just seemed a bit nervous and a bit tense. And maybe it was just sort of dawning on him that this is the best opportunity that he's maybe had along the way.
Yeah.
To race in a World Tour race and be free from having to, ride for GC or something like that. So
did he have the big diamond stud in?
Yeah, he had the stud in.
Did he?
Of course, mate.
He's got
the bling. He's got the bling. He's all about the bling Browning.
Okay.
So we liked that. But no, mate, it's always good. The photogs, they're running around. They're snapping everybody at the start. big Zach Williams, he's right in amongst the scene. He loves it. But no, it's great. It's a lot of fun, and everyone's on the boards. And the riders, I'll tell you what, Sam Welsford, he's a generous man with his time. He gave us his time last night.
Yep.
There he is. There was all the people from Perth, and he's taken 2 minutes to just take photos.
I saw his photos with the Northern Beaches, his original club, his fans. So really cool to see. And make sure you do listen to an episode with Sam last night. We didn't get him the night before stage 1. It wasn't an accident. We knew he was going to towel up today.
We like to think we know a few things.
Yeah, we like to think we know a few things. Before we discuss today's stage, just a reminder, we're doing this every day at the Tour Down Under. We've got our live podcast on the 23rd, so that's Saturday, 3:30 to 4:30 in the Bike Expo in the indoor area. So make sure you join us then. And all these episodes are on YouTube, 4K. You can subscribe there and watch along if you're on the ergo or just doing your chores at home. And make sure you also follow us on your podcast players. Just keep these numbers going up because they're doing very well at the moment. It's time to get into stage 1.
They're doing well?
Yeah, they're doing bloody well. It's time to get into stage 1 of the Tour Down Under. This is Roadside, presented by Zwift. So, Zip Track Men Stage 1, Prospect to Gamarracha. What a name, too.
Yeah, Gamarracha.
What a name.
Yeah.
I actually stitched myself up in the village because I called it Gamarracha at the start.
And
some
then some
locals
polite
came up to me and he's gone, no, mate, it's Gamarracha. So, and now I've probably forgotten. I'm probably saying it wrong. But the stage result, we saw it. It was a great sprint, super lead out. Welsford got the chocolates from Matthew Brennan from Visma Lab and Matthew Walls from Groupama FDJ. He was on Bora's team once upon a time.
He was. Yeah.
So that was the top 3. It was a pretty hectic sprint, but let's go from the start, Tom. It was Fergus Browning and Zach Marriage who leapt out of the peloton first.
Yeah, they did. They jumped out, the two boys, the two young fellas, two 21-year-olds riding for the Australian national team. They seized their opportunity and they got out the front, and it was pretty clear straight from the get-go that they were like, right, this is our classic, this is the great Australian Tour Down Under dream, isn't it?
Yeah, with the French guy who was there too.
Yeah,
and the guy from
Bastion from
yes.
Decathlon. Yep, so he was there. He took one sprint, and then he thought, nah, stuff this, I'm going back to the peloton.
He took the bonus seconds from the sprint, and then he went back. So that guy went out, got the bonus seconds of the sprint. It was about 40 Ks of riding.
Yep.
Then he just sat up, and it left Browning and Marriage out front on their own. And I think it got 120 kilometres into this bike race. They had up to 5 minutes for quite a long time.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
They averaged 44 kilometres an hour on their own.
Yeah, it was fast, wasn't it? On a hard, windy day as well. Lumpy terrain and just some real dead roads somewhere along the way, some bumpy dead roads. So it was a really impressive ride by the two young Australians. Interestingly enough, and I love to see it on the coverage as well, and you could see it when they're coming through. They're going through the feed zone, grabbing bottles, tipping it on each other's head. They're having a chat.
It's good.
They knew the situation. They knew they were going to get caught.
Yep.
And they did get caught. They got caught at around 120 kilometres to go.
Yeah, 20k to go, yeah. They had a sniff. I think for a while the peloton actually panicked because Bora were given no help.
None.
At all. The very first 100 kilometres were ridden entirely, and I mean entirely, by Philip Makachuk from Red Bull Bora Hunt Grower. He did not leave the front once they got over the gorge, and the gap was at 5 minutes. He held it at basically 5 minutes at 44k an hour for 100 kilometres straight. And then finally, Cofiders came up and they put up a rider who sucked because the gap went out, and then they brought a few more riders in, and it was just funny seeing that Bora just got nothing until 60k to go basically, or 40k to go.
Well, to be honest, mate, I thought they got too much. I know Sam won the sprint in a close. He was just edged out Brennan and Walls, but there was absolutely.
Cofiders were first to offer. They offered 3 riders.
And to be clear, they're riding for Brian Cockard.
Yeah,
so
who's won the first stage before the Tour Down Under. They had 3 riders at one point on the front swapping off, and they still weren't taking time on Browning and Marriage.
Yeah, so those two boys, they held on. They did really well to get Fergus. He took all the King of the Mountain points.
Yep.
So I think he 7 points. He went through it 3 times, 21. He's got a handy lead there as well. And then Marriage, actually, he took some bonus seconds. So he's a little bit up on the GC. I think he's 3rd on the GC.
Yep.
And it was a good ride by the Aussie boys. Put himself on the map. I like it. I know we disagree a little bit on that sort of
we'll
sentiment.
get to that. But you reckon that they shouldn't be given any help, Bora? You think the teams like Bahrain made a mistake? They offered 2 riders. I mean, they sliced the gap down by actually rotating with one Bora, one Bahrain, one Cofidis for about 30 Ks. But they should have got nothing.
Yep, they should have got nothing because the run into the finish, it was twisty, it was windy, it was headwind. It was going to be so incredibly difficult to control.
Yep.
The more firepower you had on the run-in, the better. If Welsford had have been 1 or 2 riders shorter, there would have been a very good chance to lose today. Because in this sprint that we all saw, Welsford went early. He nearly bungled it. Danny Van Poppel, his lead-out man, who is fast becoming recognised as maybe heir to the throne of Mikael Morka.
Oh, yeah.
He has, realistically, he went to Sam and he's like, you went too early. I had more to go, more to give. He was saying this in the presser.
It didn't look like he did, though. Like, watching the coverage, I didn't think Van Poppel had much left to give. It looked like Sam had kind of just got left, ready to go with 250. And to be fair, it did. If you're right, if they had one less rider, there's no way, because they really it was very, very hard for any team to maintain front position. It was so hard.
And everyone was fighting for front right. Front right on the peloton was the shortest way to the line, and you're going to force riders to go the long way around. Pithy, Welsford was like, he just did an amazing job.
Yep.
Mullins actually said he had to be used up earlier.
Yeah,
and he was doing a lot of work stepping out of the wind. So imagine if you had to put up Mullins to ride the break back, the 2 dangerous boys in the break, even if it was a bigger break.
Yeah.
That would have put the stress on Bora. And Bauhaus, he needs every edge he can get over Welsford. I thought it was very silly. Cockard's not going to beat Welsford in a dust-up.
He wasn't even in the top 10.
Yep.
So
he got muscled out. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
He's got a weaker lead-out than Welsford.
So those teams...
And he just got muscled out.
Cofidis and Bahrain can't blink. They just cannot blink. If you really want to beat Bora with their lead out, and of course with Sam, who's obviously better than all of their sprinters, you can't blink. They must not chase and go, you know what? No, you've won one stage. You smoked everyone in the crit. You smoked us in the lead out.
Yep.
There's no way we're helping. You're going to have to do it all yourself.
What Cofidis should do then, and I say this from the comfort of my armchair, is they should have just made it harder up the hill.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing inroads and you're going to try and claw time back on the break, do it where you are in a favourable position with the terms. Cockard climbs considerably better than Welsford, what we've seen in the past. Burn him there and put Bora out the arse and try and make them get on the back foot.
Maybe they had a truce with Bahrain. We'll chase if you don't go too hard in the climbs. Maybe Cockard isn't even in good form right now. I mean, he didn't even make the top 10, and that was a serious lead out. It wasn't stepping off and going 4 Ks an hour quicker than the lead out. It was stepping off and just trying to hold the speed you started at.
Yeah, and wasn't Brennan coming fast as well? He just got it wrong, Brennan, who was in second place for Visma Lab. He just went a little bit late. Fast downhill run to the line, but he came in the wheel.
He came from the draft. I mean, Sam let it out from 250 and no one came around him. But one thing I was really worried about was they showed a few pictures on the coverage with about sort of 15K to go when it was really started ramping up, 60K an hour. Plapp, the great man, was sitting at the back, the number 11 bib. He's sitting at the back of the peloton, and the rest of the team is kind of mixed in the middle of the peloton. And then Durbo, he was at the front of the peloton, like just chilling on his own. I was thinking maybe Durbo's been given a crack to maybe try go off the front in the last K, which would have been impossible because it was too fast. But Plapp was at the back, and I'm thinking, oh no, I mean, if something happens in the middle of the field, they're going downhill, there could be splits, the GC's over. Forget about crashing. Yeah. You could be in a 2-minute split. That's it. And of course, there was a crash. Bang on. It must have been 2.9 kilometres to go. Some of the lead-out riders, including Durbo, were going backwards after doing their turn. Riders coming forward to sort of swamp around. They clipped wheels. They went down. Plapp was at the back. He got caught up. They obviously rolled in a lot later. It was 2.9 kilometres. So they just were saved by the 3-kilometre rule.
Yeah, it was. And that was reflected on the results sheet, wasn't it?
Lucky.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. They won there, didn't they? And Plapp, he narrowly avoided the crash. He just looks cool as a cucumber. Nothing really flakes him. I saw him at the start. He's putting his numbers on. He's keen to have a chat. Had a little chin wag, and he was just up for the fight.
Because he's a fucking legend. Yeah. He's an absolute legend. But I'm telling you now, you can't do that. I mean, I'm not a professional, but we watch this sitting there. It just seems like if Durbo can be at the front because he's in such good form, Plapp should be on his wheel. Forget the lead out. Just keep Plapp up the front. Keep him out of those crashes because you've got a whole bunch of Garys in there who just bloody rolled over their leg over the bike for the first time this year, and they're going to bring him down like Astana did. I said, I don't know if we talked about our GC favourites. I don't think we have.
No, we haven't. We're all sort of waiting maybe for the stage 3.
Plapp wins as long as he stays on his bike. It's as simple as that.
Is that on record for you?
That's on record. I said it at the village today, actually. He wins if he stays on his bike easily, and he knows that. He's flying. So I think we may see a different strategy because I reckon Matt White would have had a bit of a scare thinking, oh, no GC. After today, let's see if Luke Plapp sits at the back next time we have a big sprint leading like that.
Well, funnily enough, Durbo was probably doing the job for Campbell Stewart.
Well, he was
doing a good job, in my opinion. He got to the front and he saw that Stewart was maybe a few wheels deeper than where he needed to be on the left, and he just went hard, and you could just see he just moved that whole.
Yeah, Kel brought Stewart up, and then and Durbo kind of slotted in because he was already there. He's obviously flying. Durbo, isn't he?
He's got some form. He rode off to get checked out. I saw him ride off into the distance with some
he
Stewart,
came
who was
down
the
as a
medic.
part of that crash, Turbo. His elbow looked pretty bloody. I saw the photo. He seemed fine. Bit of bark, but...
We say a bit of bark. He won't sleep too well, but he's tough as nails.
Yeah. Now, finally... the breakaway of the boys, Fergus Browning and Zach Marriage. I'm sure some people might disagree with this, but I still just don't think it's the best use of their power for these two megastars, first and second on the individual time trial at Nationals, freak shows. They would beat half the field, probably more than half the field in a time trial, if just pure strength, these two kids. You can't just be melting them for 140 kilometres out front on a hot day, salting it up. I reckon they could get inside, Fergus particularly. I think he could be top 15 on GC. And I reckon that is more meaningful than 140k out front on your own, being chased by one big Polish unit.
One big Polish unit. That's what he is.
Jack.
He's massive as well. He's a big
bloody
unit.
Horse, eh?
Yeah, he's 198 or something. He's 195 or something. He's a big sauce.
He's a size 15 shoe for sure.
Yeah, he is. Oh,
you're
wrong, mate.
Why?
You're so wrong.
They're going to be cooks now.
Yeah, but mate, they're going to be cooked, I reckon, on Wednesday when Plapp and all the big boys decide it's time to dance away, and they go, and then you get your doors blown off. What they've done now, they've essentially secured their, they'll walk away from Tour Down Under with a win. They both had visits to the podium today. Browning in particular, he is in a great position to go out the break again tomorrow, double down, get in a good move, claim all the King of the Mountain points tomorrow if he can do it. He will have someone else, I think, in the breakaway for support. They'll always look to get two in the break if they can.
Like that, yeah.
And I think it's smart.
Well, I hope there's more competition because it's better if he beats someone for the points. He didn't beat anyone for those mountain points. They just rolled across the line. That's
you
what
were
I mean.
so impressed by their ride, averaging, 45 odd kilometres an hour?
Exactly.
Directors see that.
Yep.
And they see they're able to hold off a peloton. Even, yes,
they will see that.
Who's chasing.
Yep.
But by seeing that being out and getting that recognition, and the director, Martin Barras, experienced director for the Australian national team, he spoke about it and he's like, look, I know that some people think we're just doing this for the TV time. And some journo asked, I forget who it was, and he just shot it down. He's like, we're not doing that for TV time.
Yeah,
this is a planned attack to get the jersey, to get visibility for Fergus, because it's a pathway team. And he wants to give them that opportunity to race and be part of the race, not be like a passenger with all these other riders who, like you said, may have potentially just swung the leg over the bike.
Yeah.
And down your clock on the K's
No doubt. That's definitely not a TV ride. You average, I said at the start, you average 44 kilometre an hour on their own, and they held off for a long time. 5 riders swapping off. Super impressive. What I'm saying is, like I said with Alyssa Pilates, these young guns are good enough to actually be in the top 10 of this race. I think that is more important than the two up.
I don't think they are.
So, well, I think
the level of World Tour here is the bygone years of having 5 guys who are going well doesn't exist anymore.
I'm saying these guys are as good as them, the ones who are going well.
Ooh.
Particularly Browning. I think he's that good. I think
That's...
Browning's that good. I think there's a better way to do it. But let's hope he does get to keep the jersey, and maybe we get to see a bit of Liam Walsh come out to play tomorrow.
Yeah, we could.
We've got our preview for Stage 2, which will, of course, be today's stage if you're listening right after this. Now, Tommy, FE Sports. You know we love FE Sports. We love
do.
their goodies. They've taken over the Indoor Expo at Tour Down Under.
You've been in there just nagging the boys all week, haven't you, on your lunch break?
popping my head in.
You have any
Popping my head in.
goodies you want to just palm off, boys? You have, haven't you?
I've got everything in that bloody expo, let me tell you that. But we were descending. Megan and I went up Norton Summit this morning, our favourite climb. Love it. It's so good to start the day with that. Then we went across to Lofty and climbed up Lofty.
Yep.
And I said to Megan...
All the way to the top?
Yeah.
The observatory?
Yeah, observatory. Yeah, PB. And then I said, let's go down Green Hill Road. And, of course, all the Adelaideans and keen Tour Down Under visitors know that we'll go, going down Green Hill is a sick descent. So I was on the Pirellis, And I tell you what, when you're going down a technical descent, you do actually think about your tyres. And if you've got old tyres on, you think about it when you're going through the corners. I mean, I do. I think, geez, I'm going to take this easy because my tyres are a bit old. But I had the fresh Pirelli P0 races on.
Did you?
And I did.
Oh,
I
they're
was
good. They're
feeling
so
a little
good.
bit Brian Starring around the corner. I was just tipping the leg in. So I just like when you've got a new set of tyres that you trust, and it just helps you go around the corners easier. You feel more confident, and then you can have more fun on the descent. So
You certainly can. It does mean it's something as well. Hey, like
You
I was in
think
the
about
same
it.
boat as well the other
If
day.
your tyres are old, you're not going to send it round the corner. If you think your tyres are a little bit slippy or you just don't get the grip from them, I've used Pirellis for a long, long time. I was OG wearer, so very nice to have them on. And we've got to give a set away.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. So we've got to figure something out in the Brains Trust. If you're watching this, drop us a line if you think you've got a good way to DM us. Or if you've actually got a good Adelaide experience, a good Radelaide experience.
That's good. Send it in. Your
Send
best
it in.
Adelaide experience. Email it to us or DM us or on the Press Room
It could be your-
Podcast. Or what about best question that we can answer for the next few days?
Yep, we'll take
Send
either
in
or.
your questions. Get Tommy and I arguing because we agree on everything.
No, we don't.
I know.
And I want to pick a bone. Where's this ride you said you did this morning on Strava? It's not there.
Well, I use my
I want to have a look at your Norton time.
I use my Wahoo watch. Of
You
course.
just said a PB on Norton. You said, and there's no PB in the there's no
I
proof in
haven't
the pudding.
uploaded it yet. I'll upload it, mate. I'll upload it. But anyway, time to preview stage 2. We've got 3 laps of the Tanunda circuit. So like the Stirling stage and the women's time, we've got the Tanunda circuit. Now, 3 laps, they hit this climb. That's 2.7 kilometres long at 7%. I think we saw this climb last year. They do this 3 times. The rest of the course is fairly, they sort of go up, do the hill, then they come back down, and it's, 128k. So around 40k, 40k loops. You think Sam Wellsford is going to be okay on this stage?
Oh, mate, absolute shoo-in. Yeah, mate, don't even bother rocking up tomorrow. Don't even bother watching the coverage. Just listen to the roadside, and we'll tell you what happened in 5 minutes.
I'm looking over at your stage profile. You're looking at the Tour Down Under stage profile, and I'm looking at the First Cycling Stats
Oh, I can
profile.
see your profile,
And
mate.
mine looks a lot more sharper than yours. These hills look really steep, and yours don't look as steep on there because it's bigger.
This road book here, that the TDU Stuart O'Grady, what they put together, mate, it's not like RCS, it's not like the Giro and the Vuelta that's got all these uncategorised climbs that suddenly appear that aren't on the road book.
They're legit.
I trust it. And I've also seen the official media race book as well, mate. So don't you...
Mate, you had the bloody Tour Down Under bag. You should see Tommy, everyone. He's got all this swag. Like he's been to the Royal Show, for God's sake. You got the bag. You've got all this shit. I fucking didn't want it this year because it just goes in the bin. But
That's
anyway,
a good bag.
This year's is a good bag. Last year's was the bag they give away to the salvos.
I think I gave it to a junior, like a kid or something like that. I was like, mate, get rid of this
Okay,
thing.
so
Some
here's
poor
my
family took it home.
thing. I don't think this is really great for Sam. The last time they hit the Menglers Hill, that's the 2.7 kilometre at 7%, is about 110 k's into the stage, and it's 128 k's. So 18 k's to go. It's pretty much all downhill. 2.7 k's, pretty long at 7%. That's a steep little berg. Imagine the likes of Navarrez lighting it up, Bettiol lighting it up, and my little sneaky pick, Albert Witham Phillipson. He's that young 18-year-old freak show, and someone clocked one of his Strava rides the other day, and he did a 5-minute effort, I think, at over 7 watts per kilo, which is, it might have been a 10-minute effort at 7 watts per kilo. It was the most freakish Strava power numbers that have been recorded in the last 12 months. This guy on Twitter records them all. Freak show. So imagine someone going all out, 7 watts per kilo, up this climb, can Sam hang with them? Can he hang with those types of attacks?
Even if he can't, he'll have the whole Bora unit around him, and the run in off this climb is very simple, straightforward. So you've got a few twists and turns off the back, but then the run in back down to Under is very straightforward. And if you are in a situation, say, like you're in a 20 rider group or whatever, that's not going to work. You're just going to get one rider off the front, Bora, they're going to roll back up, take position, and say that rider's got 30 seconds at best, 40 seconds at best. They could ride that back across 15 Ks.
Did you see the difference?
They could ride that across. They could ride that across, and if it's like maybe 40 seconds.
You got to remember
15.
though, Tommy, if Welsford gets dropped on the hill, so does his team. And often some of those teammates would also get dropped before him. Think of the big Makachek. He's getting shelled out the back door. He's 190 centimetres. Mullen climbs like an absolute barn door. What about Van Poppel? He's not a great climber
He goes all right.
either.
Pithy's good.
Pithy's great for sure, but what I'm saying is Sam's not the only... It's not like his team gets over the top and Sam doesn't. The whole team, maybe minus Pithy, gets shelled, and then they've got to all try and formulate, get back together, and then get organised, and then chase. I don't think 18K is enough if they race it aggressively, and I can't see them not doing that. The peloton.
Well, potentially, I think it's going to be very similar to pattern to what we saw today. I'll go the reserved option. You can go the extravagant.
Well, I'm picking Navarrez for this one.
Okay, I'll go Welsford.
Love it. I hope you're right. I love Navarrez, but of course we want Welsford to win. We do.
He's
So
a good man.
we've got our Zwift moments of the day and our final wrap up right after this. Okay, Tommy, we had stage 1 today. We've got to pick our Zwift moments of the day. Now, my one was Welsford's sit-down sprint. Of course, he went early. He had a huge sprint. He got about 180 metres into the 250-metre sprint, and he had to sit down. And we've all had that feeling where you've done a maximum effort. You've gone all out the sprint, and you still need to get to the line. You've got nothing left. You've got to sit down. And he just held on. For me, I just think he had to dig deep. I love seeing that because it's like he's human.
Yeah, he's human, and you could see the... You could hear the pain as well, and he was joking about it in the presser after, and he's going, I just went so early. I looked over, and I knew there was a wheel coming, and he was seated, and he just would have been grovelling himself to get across the line.
He said
because his team did so much work, and he just wanted to pay him back. He just wanted to have the success.
He said he was so tired he couldn't even put his other arm up. That's why he did just the one. He got the chicken wing up for like a little point, but
the legs, he said he had nothing in the legs. He was done. Oh, no, it's a good Zwift moment of the day.
What was
I'll
yours,
go
mate?
and start contrast, mate. So as I'm wrapping things up in the media room, 6 o'clock, who rolls in? Your best mate, Mark Cavendish. Definitely doesn't have access to the media room.
Media room after I left.
Yep.
You're
So
joking.
he rolls on in, and him and Phil Liggett, mate, they just straight into the bar, crack a bottle.
Liggett
Sitting
loves
over in the
getting
corner.
into that bar, doesn't he? He's in it all the time.
Yeah, good on him. So there they were. They were having a healthy debrief, a good catch up. That's my Zwift moment of the day.
There's no Chandon in that fridge either, so they must be drinking the cheapest champagne they've ever drunk.
I don't think they were too worried about the year or the vintage, mate.
In the media room, everyone, they've got a bar full of Gatorades, full of sparkling waters, Red Bulls, sugar-free Red Bulls. Everything is in there. And then there's a fridge, a couple of fridges, one that's just full of champagne. Everyone in the media room can have this. You just take it. There's glasses, everything.
After 4 o'clock, there's
After
big
4
signs.
o'clock, yeah.
There's big signs that says, do not open these fridge until 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, depending on who you are, and this happened last year as well. This happened last year. Phil Liggett rolls on in. I reckon it's like 2:30. He's looked at it, and it's the day. It's the Monday before the tour, and he's going, nah, that doesn't apply to me. And I saw it, and I just thought, oh, he rules the roost.
He does. There's beers in there. You got Hard 3.5. You got the little gin and tonic can things. It's really quite good. And then you got the gelatos too. There's a fridge full of gelato, and
you were into that last
to take
night, weren't
whatever
you?
you want. I did the burnt orange, South Australian Tour Down Under edition. And there's a coffee guy in there who makes you coffee.
He's a lovely
on
bloke.
demand.
He is a lovely guy, Sam. He's turning around the brews. Everyone goes through to get a coffee in the morning.
Even the riders came down after the stage.
Yep.
Who was it? The fourth place on the stage came down. What was his name? The youngster riding for Tim Torn Teutenberg.
I reckon you've absolutely butchered that, mate.
Here we go. Yeah, Tim Torn Teutenberg. He's the German from Lidl Trek. He's their sprinter. He got fourth, And he was just taking himself a little cappuccino.
Yeah.
So,
well, mate, I was down there and this morning I was having a little coffee before I jumped in the media car, and there's Esteban Chavez just getting his brew.
Chavito.
Yeah, rolled in. So no, it's all the go at the Hilton, and that's what you get. The rider access is just unparalleled. You know, that's what we get sort of in the media circle. So you can imagine how easy it is to see the riders when you are on the side of the road and everything like that.
Yep.
It is pretty bloody special to Down Under.
Now, finally, Tommy, what are you doing tomorrow, mate? What are you up to on stage 2? Where are you going to be?
Well, mate, as the race is going out to Down Under, and it's going to be a bit of a snooze fest, mate. I'm taking the day. I'm going riding, man. The old boy, he's flowing in.
Yep.
We're going to go log a few hours, find a few coffee shops, a pie shop.
You beauty.
And we'll follow the race pretty closely from there. You're going to be in the village tomorrow again?
Yeah, back in the village again today, doing the sort of commentary MC stuff during the ad breaks. Good fun. And then after that, we've got actually I've got this Rattle Gravel VIP party they put on for special guests.
Is this with Mr. Speedo, Valtteri and Tiff? And,
yeah, they'll be there. They've got all the drinks there, the Oath Gin, the Ohana wines, all the food.
How am I only hearing about this for the first time?
Rooftop bar.
Where's my little invite, mate? I'll have to wrangle an invite to this little hospitality venue tomorrow night.
And you know what's funny? I was talking to a great man, Aidan Burgess, who he does all those funny reels with the team jerseys.
He's just flowing in.
He's just flown in. He told me he's got a question. He's got like a media pass. So he's going to ask Valtteri a question, right? This is the question he said he's going to ask. I love it. It's so good. He's going to ask Valtteri which rider he would put a stick through their spokes. And I said, you'll either get the best answer ever or you'll get nothing.
Nah, I reckon he's getting 0 bars from him, mate. He's too well media trained,
Valtteri. Mate, I love it. I told him that. I said, you got to fly the flag. That's different. And, we'll see what Valtteri says. I'll let you guys know.
No, I'll be there, mate. I'll hear what he says.
Oh, you'll get a ticket. Tommy's getting himself a ticket magically. All right, legends. We'll see you again for tomorrow. This is Roadside, presented by Zwift.